Okay, we're getting ready to get started here. Let's do this. Can you hear me okay? See if I can see the live chat. Rubber toe, crooked river craps. All right, we're going to get started and we're going to be talking about some Vegas stories. My last cruise. Sounds good. All right. Let's get started. It is 7-Eleven. What's up, everybody? Brian here with the Holy Roller, playing craps on a cruise to earn a free cruise. And today, we're recapping Craps for the Cure and our Vegas trip that we just got back on. And I'm also going to be talking about Anthem of the Sea. Just got off of that too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put this down so I can sit down a little bit here, get started. But I wanted to tell you, let's start with Anthem of the Sea. And I want to make sure I can see the chat so I can talk with anybody and everybody that has something to say. Or if you have any questions, let me know, and we'll be talking about it. But first, got a little souvenir from Vegas. There you go. Put that on my nightstand. And just remember the time that we were in Vegas. And remember how much this cost me. And then also, I got this. I'm going to do this right now at the beginning of the show. This right here from Royal Caribbean is what's called a crystal block. And so once you get up to 140 nights on Royal Caribbean, they have these milestones. And this is one of the milestone gifts that you get. And I wish you could feel the weight to this thing, but it is pretty amazing. So with this milestone, congratulations, it says. And whatever ship you're on, when you get 140 nights, you get a crystal block of that ship. Look at this. This thing, like I said, I wish you could see feel how heavy this thing is. It is amazing. So, can I get $5? $5? Anybody $5? Can I get 10? 10, 10, 10? I'm not selling it, but man, it is amazing. I don't know how much it's worth, but it is something that I thought was fitting. Anthem of the Sea, Anthem of the Seas, where I got that, Amber and I wanted to tell you how special this trip on Anthem of the Sea was. So let's start with that, and then we'll talk about Vegas as well. Well, because in Vegas we were doing the Craps for the Cure event, and this is a yearly event, and we were in Las Vegas last year around this time, and we put up a cruise for an auction, and people could bid on the auction. Now this year they did a little bit something different. They did it a little different, and I'll tell you about that in a second if you didn't know. But they did a little bit different. But last year was an auction, so people were bidding, and then the highest bidder got the cruise. Well, that was last year at this time, and last year, this year we were raising money for veterans on Veterans Day weekend. Last year we raised money for cancer awareness, and it went to the American Cancer Society. All of the proceeds, but we donated a cruise so that a person and a guest could go on a cruise. Well, Joe and Barbara won this cruise last year, and Barbara was actually battling cancer at the time. And Joe didn't know if she was going to be able to be on this cruise. He just wanted to donate, and he ended up winning the cruise. Well, good news, Barbara was able to be on the cruise with us. She's in remission. And man, what a wonderful couple. Amber and I were just super blessed to be able to have met them and just have a blast. And so what happened is Joe came, brought $1,000 for his bankroll. He not only came up and left with $1,350, so he won $350, but he also he also won a free cruise. so he got a free cruise and $350, and so he's super excited. And that was last year. So this year we did a little bit something different, and we were doing raffle. So we put up a 4-night balcony cruise, and it was a raffle, $100 per ticket, and then we were drawing the tickets. And so at the end of the event, the tickets were drawn, and Rick S. and his wife Marty are going to be on the next cruise with us, and this one's coming up in January 22nd. And one of the things that we did was we actually, I went to Vegas, I had some money, I had a good night the night before at the craps table before, and I said, you know what, we're gonna offer an extra $1,000, you know, and we kind of wanted to do that, but I kind of wanted to win it to do it. But anyway, we were gonna do it anyway, because I had announced it on my channel. But then I let them know, we're gonna add another $1,000 to this cruise, which was a $1,500 value. This bumped it to $2,500 value for this cruise, because the $1,000 is going to be on onboard credit. So you can use it for drinks, you can use it for internet, or you can use it for bankroll in the casino. And so so we added that to it, and it was amazing. So they got it, they got the cruise, and so we got it all booked, and we're ready to go. And I'll probably do a video about that in January, late January, early February. We'll have a video on that. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the Craps for the Cure event and my trip to Vegas. So before we do that, let me see if there's any questions. How are you rated if you play a box number and do the don't on the don't side? So I think what you're asking, and who is this asking this? Robert. So I think what you're asking is, like, do they cancel it out? Because a lot of times, if you play the don't, say you put $100 on the don't and you put $100 on the point, a lot of times that will break even. Hey, what's up? Ryan from Mark the Point is in the house. But a lot of times when box people are rating the points, if you're on the don't pass, meaning that if the point is 4, that you're going to roll a 7 before a 4. Like, you don't pass, because in order to pass, you would roll a 4 before a 7. And so the question is, if you go on the don't for $100 and then you put $100 on the 4, so that you win on a 4 and you win on a 7, or you break even on a 7, wouldn't they zero that bet out? A lot of times they do, but not all the time on a Royal Caribbean cruise. It just depends. But the way I do it, because you have to have risk. So every time there's a come out roll, whatever you start with, that is your average bet. You know, so right after the come out roll, they'll log all the bets in. So let's say I do have $100 on the don't pass, and I have the point becomes 4. Well, I only put $50 on the 4, because $50 pays $100 for the don't pass. Then I put another 100, or another 50, I should say, inside. So like 44 inside. And I did this exact example at Craps for the Cure when I was doing my my talk, and I forget what hour that is. It's on day 2, and you'll have to scroll through and find that. But if that was the case, you have 50 on the point, you have pretty much 50 on the other points, and you have 100 on the don't pass. And the question is, will they just cancel that out, or how do you get rated? What's up, Steven? Rad in the house. Yo, Brian, he says. All right. So what does that come? If they do cancel it out, they cancel out the $50, and they don't count that. So I'm still over $100 average bet. So anyway, I try to put 200 out, and if they cancel half of it out, they don't cancel the whole thing out. So that's good news if you've ever been on a cruise with Royal Caribbean and you want to get points. And I showed, hey, what's up, Michael? Tuning in live. Finally, you made it. One thing I showed, and I'll probably do a video on my channel that just kind of breaks it down this simple as well, because a lot of times when you're on the cruise, you want to play in order to get points to earn a free cruise, but a lot of times you don't want to risk all your money. And so how do you play? I pretty much did a class on how to play for like $44 and really just, you know, not risk anything at all. And you might say, what? Of course you'd be risking. If it's a 4 or 10, I showed how to not risk anything at all. The $44 that you actually that you're spending is simply just to hedge a 7 and 11 to hedge your don't pass. So you're playing for $40. That $40 is gone. And then everything else, the first goal is to win $40. If you don't, you break even or you lose $40. But with that $40 that you're playing that round with, you actually have a $200 or a $150 average bet, getting 150 points if you do that. Now, I did at the very end, if you watch to the very end, you'll see that I gave the real tip and secret, because a lot of people say it doesn't make sense to hedge your bets. But if anybody's been on the don't with any big amount of money, you know you lose on 7 and 11. And when you have $100 there and you lose on 7 and 11, it doesn't feel good. But we get a lot of times, we get free play on the cruise. So $500 worth of free play. Well, $40 or say $400 worth of free play. That's 10 shooters that I can hedge with free play money. I can hedge my real money and protect my real money. And it's just an amazing system. So anyway, that was the secret. And I have more secret videos like for members. And so I gave away probably too much information over there. And my members are like, wait, he said that was only gonna be for us to learn. And you just taught everybody on the Casino Quest channel, which has like 80,000 subscribers. And I'm like telling secrets that only my members know. So thanks for supporting the channel. Become a member, because one thing I will not share anytime ever, unless you're with me on a cruise, or if you're in the group or the member only videos, is my system called the Point Harvester, and it says it just like this: Harvester. Yeah, the Point Harvester. That's how I really could get a cruise in one night. And Amber can too. So for those of you that are members, you know what I'm talking about. But speaking of the Holy Roller membership or the Holy Roller website, okay, holyroller.com, I want to invite you to go there. I left the video up that talks about the cruise. And you might say, hey, I didn't get in the drawing, but I love what you're doing. I want to support that. We put up $1,000, and so even though it's kind of it's a tip jar. You won't get an entry in a cruise, but it is a tip jar. You could give any amount, and that will help with the $1,000 for the bankroll. Now, do I need it? No, I already have it. To offset it would be cool. If you still want to give there, that would be great. And so, hey, thanks for becoming a member. If you want, it's hard to talk about becoming a member because. You know, YouTube says you have to mention being members in every video, and I don't do it in every video, but every once in a while I do mention it because a lot of times people don't know about it. And when you do that, go to, I have a member only video when you go to join, or when you go to the join tab on the channel, you'll be able to watch video explains. I have 6 levels. Now you might say, whoa, there's 6 levels. Oh my gosh, that's a lot. Well, it's pretty much 3 as a viewer and a doer. So a lot of times people are like, hey, I want to go on a cruise with you. What does it cost to go on a cruise? And with Amber and I, we take people on cruises with us. And so that's available to our network partners and our members. But you might say, what is it? It's like $50 a month, and you can find out where we're at and go with us. And so imagine this. Imagine you pay $50, or I think there's one for like $100 a month, and you're like, whoa, $100 a month? And so I'm all about helping you cheat the system. So I'm gonna tell you how to cheat the system for my membership. Okay, you become a member, okay, for $100 a month, okay. And when you do that, you get access. And you have to see which one it is, but it's the doer one. So do we have a member? Whoa. We have another member right away. Welcome, a roller. That's awesome. That's a viewer and a doer. But let me tell you, I'll tell you how to hack my system. You become where you go to the membership level to where you're able to get a cruise for $1,000. Yes. So there's a member level where you get on the member level, and then you're able to get a cruise for $1,000. Now, if you're going to go on a cruise, you're going to spend a lot more than $1,000. Now, you might say, well, what about the 6 months at $100 a piece or whatever it is? Okay, $1,600, $1,500, whatever. You're going to spend more going on the cruise by yourself. And so the idea is become a partner, come on a cruise with us, and then you actually get a coaching session. I show you everything that I show in the channel, but we do everything we can, Amber and I. We do everything we can so that you could leave with a free cruise, just like Joe and Barbara did just recently, and many other people. So how am I so confident? I was talking to somebody in the line that last time I went on a cruise. We met each other in the line. It was out of New Jersey. You probably saw that video we did from airport cruise to airport. We did the tour in New York City and stuff. But I was talking to somebody in line, and they're like, "Oh, what do you do?" Blah blah blah. And I said, "Well, I'm here for my channel, showing people how to get a free cruise by playing craps on a cruise." And they're like, "Oh, wow!" And then so they asked a couple questions, and I said, "Well, yeah, based on," and this was before we even got on board. I said, "Based on the cruise, I think Amber will win one, and I will earn a free cruise too. So we'll have 2 free cruises after we get off this cruise." And they go, "Whoa, you sound pretty confident." And I'm like, "Well, it's pretty easy. Do it all the time. Every cruise we go on, we get another cruise." And so that is why I'm so confident in saying that. So anyway, but why do I do it? Do I do it to make money? No, because let me tell you, YouTube at the channel, when you become a channel member, YouTube's going to keep part of that money. So it's not like I'm getting $100 a month or whatever you give. I think I'm getting like 50% of that or whatever it is. But anyway, what that does is it helps with the channel here. I don't know if you can tell, but I got some lighting, got some new lights. I got a new microphone. All of the member stuff that you do helps me improve the channel. I want to get a new camera pretty soon, and it also helps pay the taxes and port fees when I go on a ship. And so every ship that we go on is anywhere between $100 to $250. And so, but hey, we did a 7-night Alaskan cruise for $250 each. That was a great. Let's see, what time did you check in? New Jersey. Oh yeah, don't type that in this chat. I might get flagged. No, I'm just playing. All right, let's see. What time was the check-in? Well, the check-in, it really doesn't matter when you say you're gonna, arrive at 11. Then they send out this thing and they're like, everybody needs to arrive before 1:30. And then so anyway, we get there, and I talked to somebody, they said it's not always like this, but let me tell you, it was a disaster. It took a long time to get the traffic. Once you get to the cruise, it took a half hour once you get to the port just to get off. I mean, like you get in traffic and you're stuck for a half hour until you get out of the Uber and stuff. And then the other thing is, yeah, it took a long time. There's lots of people, lots of lines. And so they said it wasn't that crazy before, but I don't know if I believe them because there didn't seem to be any organization at that cruise port. But anyway, I'm not bashing the cruise port. It was great. It was fun. It was a great cruise. But if I had to go out of there again, which it was really cool to go out of there, but if I had to go out of there again, I would just plan for a lot more time, and I would get there as early as possible. Even though it doesn't matter what my arrival time says, I'm gonna get there as early as possible because, like I said, people had like 2 o'clock arrival, and then they sent this thing and they're like, everybody needs to be there by 1:30. So a lot of people were late. We were waiting for them to arrive, which pretty much means we didn't sell away on time, but yeah, it was great. It was great. So we do have a super chat here from Rubber Toe for $4.99. Camera fund. Love the channel, Brian. Thank you so much, Rubber Toe for that. And I know you got a name, but everybody goes by their, sometimes when people see me, they're like, "Hey, Holy Roller," because, sometimes they recognize me from that, or like Rad. I call Rad, your name's Rad, or, whatever your handle name is totally fine. But thanks, Rubber Toe, for the camera fund. I really appreciate it. It means a lot. So anyway, that's enough about the channel and about all that stuff. Unless you guys have questions, I'll answer them. But I want to move on and talk a little bit about this thing before we get going any further. You might say, Brian, how do you still have that? How do you still have this? Because this right here is within the craps community. This is called the hard hat, and it came an idea from Casino Gaming TV. John over with Pro Craps. Okay, John with Pro Craps has Casino Gaming TV, and there's a big community of us that have YouTube channels. And he wanted to buy this hard hat and said, you know what? I want to honor people every month for being a hard worker, like getting it and building the community and building their channel. And so this is kind of like a constructive thing. So we're construction workers building our channel and building the craps community. And this has been around the nation, okay? And so it went, I don't know where everybody is, but I will say there's Roll to Win Craps, Ed over there. And then you got Big AZ has a chip on here. And you have Alfredo with Texas Craps Shooters. You got Jeff at Mid-Atlantic Craps. You got Dice Dejan, which we're going to be talking about him in just a second. Make sure to tell him so he could tune in because I'm going to talk about him. And then you have Brian over with Hawaiian Craps Shooters, and then you have another Brian, right? Brian with Hawaiian Craps Shooters or Hawaiian, what is it? Yeah, Hawaiian Craps Shooters. They put up an auction item too that was really awesome, a raffle item to like roll with them and stuff. But he spells his name with a Y. I spell mine with an I. So, and then you have the Holy Roller there, and then I put a little verse there. You know, we may throw the dice, but the Lord determines how they land. And I was praying one time, like, Lord, if you determine how they land, how come I'm losing so much money? And I felt like the Lord, in his joking way, says, hey, you're the one doing the bets. So anyway, don't blame the dice, blame the person betting, right? I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I always say blame the dice or the stick person. That's who I blame. All right. So that right there. So anyway, I don't know. John shared about this, but this is going to go to Sideshow Gamble, which is in the military and was deployed pretty much all of 2023. While he was gone, he left November of last year, and he just got back. While he was gone, Chris from Sideshow Gamble, he has a channel, and what he did before he left is he recorded 52 videos, all to release once a week while he was deployed. And so every week there was still a video coming out from him that he recorded, and that is some hard work, and that is some dedication, and that's why he is winning this next. And so why do I have it? Because the person that gets it is supposed to mail it off to the next person. However, I'm in Colorado and so is Chris, so I'm gonna try to do something special. So stay tuned on that. All right, so I might mail it to him. I might not. But that was a raffle item, and in our community, Gargoyle won that. I believe, I could be wrong, but you know, Gargoyle's gonna want it if I'm wrong. He's gonna say, no, Brian said it was mine. so, all right. So, evening, two will pair o dice. Yeah, keep rolling. All right, let's keep it rolling. Thanks for keeping me on track. Here we go. All right, so Craps for the Cure. I think the number one thing is, yes, we're raising money for awareness every year. Like this year we did veterans, last year we did cancer awareness. Next year we'll do something, and you'll hear about it. And it's the whole craps community that's putting it on. And Casino Gaming TV is really the hub. If you go to Casino Gaming TV and just check in there, I mean, there's daily videos. It's always live. And they have Craps Chat on Sunday nights, every other Sunday night. And so it's really a really awesome and tight community. And I think one of the best things about Craps for the Cure is being able to be connected with the community and the craps community. Such awesome people, a great group of people, guys and girls. And it is amazing. And so I think meeting everyone and seeing everyone is one of the highlights, just to be able to be there. And you know, everybody's exchanging their their chips, because we use these like business cards, and so everybody's exchanging their chips with each other, and everybody is meeting each other and taking pictures and getting each other's phone numbers so they can meet up and at different casinos, because there's nothing better than rolling with people that and having everybody around the table. It was awesome, except for the 7-ounce that I did and a lot of other people did, because that happens to everyone, just so you know. But so aside from the awesome event of raising money for veterans, and I'll tell you how much we raised. If you didn't know, I'll tell you how much we raised in just a second. But I want to talk about a couple quick stories that happened, and then we'll kind of wrap it up tonight. But a couple quick stories, and then I'll answer any questions that you have. So keep those coming in. If you have any questions, I'll try to do that. So try to answer those. All right. So one of the first events that they did that I wanted to talk about was they had Dice Coach Bo, which is, I forget what his thing is, but he for over 20 years he's been teaching people how to throw dice and teach them how to bet, teach them how to play craps, and it's like I want to say it's like a $2,500 package or something like that. I don't know exactly all of it, and maybe I should be better if I'm going to talk about it. Sorry, I don't know everything about it. All I know is they call him Coach. He's a dice coach. And somebody wanted to donate to Craps for the Cure, and this is one of the epic events. If you didn't see it, it was pretty awesome. But they said, I'll donate this much if you can roll a 5 within 5 rolls. And so he goes, okay. So they're going to donate a bunch of money if he can roll a 5 within 5 rolls. And so he rolls, and I don't know what the first one was. And so they're like, 1 down, and he goes, and he's talking while he's doing it. And then he rolls again. And second one down, he hasn't hit a 5 yet. He's saying something else, and then he rolls again. Third roll, no 5. And then the fourth roll, boom, no 5. And it's like, okay, last roll. And I forget how much money it was, but whatever it was, he said, everybody's watching, they're waiting in suspense. Oh my gosh, it's the 5th roll. He has to roll a 5 for this person to donate the money. And he says, Coach says, whatever you're doing, if I roll a 5 right now, I'll match it. He rolls it, and it was a 5. And everybody's like, boom! It was crazy. And he rolled a 5. He matched it. We raised some more money for Craps for the Cure for veterans. And this, it was amazing. But the company or the organization that we were working with is called Veterans Moving Forward. And that is, was it a match 500? Oh, my goodness. You probably remember. But yeah, it was, I couldn't believe it, man. It was one of those things where you're like, oh my gosh, right? So then, not too long later, the dice coach, everybody's around, and it's time for guys versus girls, And so we kind of go against each other, and I think, somebody wanted to donate an extra $300 for extra 3 tickets for either the Dice Coach thing or the cruise, depending on who won between one guy and one girl. And I was the guy. And if you bet on me, you get an extra 3 tickets for the raffle. And if you bet on Carrie, which was representing the girls and representing the dice coaching, then you would get extra 3 tickets for the dice coaching. Either one of them is a great deal. Well, so I say ladies first. I'm trying to get her to go first so I know what to beat. And she's like, no. So they rolled dice, and they're like, Brian goes first. I'm like, I defer. And I couldn't get out of it. So I had to go first. And I was just rolling. I rolled 30 times. And to spare you what happened at the tables later, I'll just tell you, it was the best roll I had while I was in Vegas. And I got $0 because I was at Casino Quest. So no money was on the table, but I was just rolling. I rolled 30 times. I hit the whole ATS, both sides. I hit every number, 30 rolls. But this was one time I was rolling. The point was 5. And remember, Dice Coach had 5, And so I'm rolling, and I'm not hitting a 5, but I'm hitting all kinds of other numbers. But the point is 5. And finally I get down to it, and I'm like, hey, Dice Coach, should I change my set to try to get a 5? And he goes, no. And I go, okay. And I rolled it and it was a 5 right then and there. And it was just, those are the epic moments and the times when you get together and you have these moments together and it's like these memories. And that's what the community is all about, is just having these stories and these memories together. So that was pretty amazing. But let's talk about some. I'm gonna talk about a couple bad experiences I had at Vegas, not at Casino Quest, not with the craps community, but just it's Vegas, right? It's Vegas. So I'm gonna tell you about 2 major things that I thought this is worth a story, and it was horrible. I'll just tell you that right now. Horrible, horrible, horrible. So I go out, we're playing with some people. So not all of us are on the table, but a couple of the craps community people are at the table, and locals or other people that are just in Vegas at the time. And so the table is packed and we're at this table, and I finally wait for a spot and I get in. Like when you have to like reach your hand in and put some chips or put your money on like one of the racks because it's open, but you can't, there's not really any room, so you kind of have to put your hand between people to get a spot. That's what I had to do to get a spot on this table. It's packed like that. So I get on the table, I wait for the puck to go off, the puck is off, it's time to buy in. Okay, so I buy in. And so I'm there, I have all my money in my rack, and I'm waiting, I'm kind of talking with some people, and I'm waiting, because other people are buying in or cashing or coloring up, all that kind of stuff. And so the dealers start arguing with each other. Like this one dealer that was on stick and this other dealer that's in front of me, he's like, hey, you got the dirty stack or whatever. And he's like, what are you talking about? Boom. And they start like literally verbally arguing, like I'll see you in the parking lot kind of arguing. And I'm like, what is going on? And I look at Ian, I'm like, what's happening here? He goes, it's been like this the whole time, but they're making money, they don't care. And I'm just like, that's weird, man. I just never seen that before. Okay, so I'll just say this guy that was on stick is just not happy. Like, I don't know if you experienced dealers like that. And the thing about dealers on the cruise is I think on all my cruises, and when you get this, I've been on 140 nights or whatever it may be, I've only experienced like maybe somebody that's like kind of rude, but not really angry or not really hate their job, but maybe 1 or 2 out of, and in fact, it was on the same voyage. So out of all my cruises, there's only 2 dealers on a craps cruise that were just not good, pretty much. I mean, when I say not good, I mean bad attitude, shouldn't even be there, bringing the energy down, hate their job, hate their life. That's what it seems like, Well, that's what was happening over here, this guy on stick. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. They're just yelling at each other. And so a couple rolls go by and then they switch, And so now this angry guy on stick is now right in front of me. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So I'm like betting. So I go 66 across or 66 inside. Then I press 22 inside pressure when the first hit hits. And then I do it again. So now I'm at 110 inside. And literally I'm at 110 inside, a 5 or 9 hit. And I say, take my 5 to 36, So 36 pays 50. So 36 pays 50. I get another hit. I'm like, take my 9 to 36. So now the 5 and 9 pay 36. The 6 and 8 pay 35. Well, I get a hit. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to take my 6 and 8 to 42 each. So now I'm getting $50 every time a 5, 6, 8, or 9 hit. But I say to this dealer, go ahead and take me to 42 on the 6 and 8. And I'll do 1 for 50 when that hits. And he goes, man, why you have to be so difficult? And I was like, what? He goes, just take 35 and be happy. I'm like, what? Take me down. And I'm like, take me down. So I took all my money down. I'm like, I don't understand why this guy said, why I have to be so difficult? Well, let me tell you, this was on Sunday night. So on Sunday nights, the dealers, they get to wear like sports jerseys and stuff, right? And so everybody's wearing different sports jerseys. And this dealer, angry, mad, at the craps table dealer that probably hates his job, I don't know. He's wearing a John Elway giant, I mean, it was probably like a 3X jersey with a giant 7 on the chest. And I should have known that would be his attitude if he's dealing craps with a giant 7 on his chest, because it was like a couple rolls later and then the 7 came and I was able to take my 66 that I pressed up to like, 140 or so. I was able to take that out and at least walk away with a little bit of profit. But man, I could not believe it. And I probably won't go to that place again. And I don't know, it was kind of like, I don't know. It's funny how one dealer or one pit boss or one kind of experience can say, I never want to go back there again. And some of you might be saying, where is that? And I'll do a David move from Casino Quest. It may or may not have been Harris. Okay, it may have, but man, I don't know if I'll be going there again. But anyway, this guy, yeah, he definitely ruined the experience for me. But let's talk about another crazy. And so this one, I went to a casino that I really like, that I stay at all the time, and I'm there. But even the places there are some dealers. Now, there's one thing if dealers are learning. If they're learning, I'm totally gracious with them. I'll help them out. If they're learning and have a bad attitude, I might even still understand that, like, they're still learning and they're just overwhelmed right now, and they're kind of like, and so there was this one where this guy and we were pressing. And literally the guy that was dealing, he was still learning or, whatever. He's like, he said out loud after we pressed, he goes, oh my gosh, this is going to be hard. So I understand if you're like overwhelmed or whatever, that's totally different. You know what you're doing and you just have a bad attitude. Well, so I went to a place that I usually go, and it may or may not have been Sahara. Okay, so I was there, and I like the team there. I love the vibe of the casino. I love the high ceilings. I love everything about it. It's really awesome. But this particular night, I was playing with Justice Jen, if you know, and there was Joel there. Joel is what is it, like JR22 in the Discord. But Joel was there, and Joel, he can roll, man. And he was saying, man, my rolling has gotten so much better since he got his own craps table and he does a lot of practice. And I'm like, this guy can roll. And I was like, I mean, I played a couple times with Joel, and he's rolling. And of course, you get these people that don't really understand craps etiquette, but also they're trying to train somebody, and the dice are coming their way, and their hands are all inside the table. And it was getting crazy. And there wasn't a lot of us at the table. It was late at night. So I don't know if these people have been drinking or kind of drunk, but they're definitely happy, and they're definitely like all over the table where the dice are coming. And so it's kind of like, okay, I'm gonna wait for the dealers to say something, because they usually say hands high, whatever, hands high. And this was happening where this person was just had their finger in the thing while they were coming. And Joel, he's polite, he's waiting. And he's like, take the dice back. And so the stick person, they don't even see it because they're watching the dice. And everything that's happening is right over here. And he's like, take the dice back. So they take the dice back. And I'm like, hey guys, because this pit boss and the person in front of me were just having a full-on conversation and weren't even paying attention to the game. And I'm like, hey guys, are you guys going to stop the game? Look what's happening here. They have their hands inside and he can't roll the dice. And Joel, he's polite about it, of course, and I'm trying to be polite. But at this, maybe I was a little tired and cranky, okay? Maybe I was. Maybe I was a little tired and cranky. But the point of what I'm trying to say is the person with the stick can't see what's happening. So it's up to the pit boss, and it's up to the person on whatever base where the dice are going, to make sure that people keep their hands out of the table so that the dice are coming, And so I'm like, hey guys, stop the game. Are you guys paying attention? I was like telling them, and I was kind of rude about it, but at this point, I mean, it was, so the stick person thought that Joel was just like one of those dice setters that take forever and then like flex their hand and then take the dice back, and then they stretch and then they, do some lunges and then come back and give me the dice back. He wasn't doing it for that reason. He was doing it because craziness was happening right next to me. And so I'm not trying to say anything, but I'm trying to tell them, hey, do your job, right? Dice are out, hands high, right? And so I say that dice are out, and then the dice come back and he rolls and it's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. He rolls again, everything's fine. This is great. This is great. But they're not stopping. And then the people, the pit boss and the other dealer are just, the dealer that's supposed to be dealing our stuff, I had to ask for their attention, right? To pay me when I'm like, hey, the point was 6, the 6 rolled, can you pay me for the 6? Okay, excuse me, sorry to interrupt, but can you pay me for the 6? And this is how crazy it was. It was, I had a $35 or a $30 6. So I get paid $30, right? And he's not paying attention, still in a conversation. And he goes like this and pays me a green and 2 whites and just goes, okay, gotcha. And I'm like, excuse me. So anyway, they paid me $27 instead of $35. And I'm like, and I'm like, hey, and they go, listen, you can't stop the game. You can't, I'm like, he didn't pay me right, because by this time I was like, hey, stop the game. But then they didn't pay me right, and so I want to get paid before they send the dice out. I'm like, wait, don't send the dice out because I need to get paid, and you need to do something about this happening right over here. Like, I'm just trying to help, but at the same time, I'm getting so frustrated. And yes, I was tired and cranky. But what was happening just didn't seem right. So anyway, they go back, and finally, Joel did it again where he sent the dice back. They were just, not just pointing now. Now they're just like all over, touching their bets. They're still moving their bets around while the dice are out. It was really, really bad. And the pit boss and them are not saying anything. And I'm like, hold up, stop the game. And they're like, you can't stop the game. And even Justice Jen was like, Brian, come on, stop, man, stop. I'm like, Jen, you don't see what's happening over here. This is ridiculous. Like they're not paying attention and all this kind of stuff. And she's like, Brian, that's not right. That's not cool. Because, well, she said that right after the next roll happened. Because I said to him, stop the game. You guys need to pay attention. This is unacceptable. And he's trying to roll, and so Joel and I was kind of making eye contact a little bit. He's like, oh my gosh, what's happening down there? And he's trying to roll around it. Like he's still trying to roll around it with hands in it. He's just rolling to the other side of the table because their hands aren't getting out of the table. It was the most craziest thing I've ever seen, almost the most craziest thing I've ever seen. Well, he rolled and then it 7'd out and we lost. Jen lost her money. I lost my money. Joel lost his money. Like we should have just turned off or took everything down and said, hey, until you guys fix this, we're not going to bet. And by that time, Jen like colored up and got out. Joel was like, I'm done. I'll just stay one more roll for me. So because when I rolled, it was going the opposite way. So whatever's happened over here didn't really matter that much. And so anyway, that was one of the stories. But let me tell you about the most epic story, okay? I'm gonna tell you about the most epic story, and I think I'm gonna even show you a clip. I'm gonna see if I could show you a clip of this. And so I'm gonna go over and let's see here. Okay, so I'm gonna turn this on so you can hear it. Hopefully you can hear it. Okay, so I'm gonna turn it up. Might be loud, but that's okay. Okay, so a lot of you know last year, Craps for the Cure was amazing, and they had this they have these battle royales with Craps for the Cure, okay? And so last year was Chris from Sides So Gamble that we talked about that's winning this right here, and the other person was Churro. Churro with Midmo Yo has a channel, and we lost Churro tragically this last summer, and his number was Yo, or the 11, and he had a heart condition that had just like sprung up, it wasn't like an ongoing thing. It was a surprise and a shock to everyone, the community, his family, everyone. And he was there last year, and he was he's amazing. If you've seen his show or seen him, he comes into the room And I was on stick this year, but last year he was on stick. And I didn't say anything, but I wanted to be as good as him, like with getting everybody involved and like, you know, doing, like I wanted to be like him because he was just so amazing, you know? And so anyway, make a long story short, he passed, and so we really want to honor him, and we have been honoring him this whole year, and the battle royale is between Craig with Old Bay Craps and Chris from Dice Degen, and they're doing a battle, and so they do a battle. 4 rounds, and then they're doing a live round dealt by David here. And so I'm going to show you really quick. But what happens is Chris does, so last year they were playing for, I think, Churro's Fedoras. He had like a collection of hats. And Sideshow Gamble said, I'll put up my craps table. So it was an opportunity for Churro, Midmo Yo, to win a craps table if he won this contest. Well, part of the contest is you have to go all in. And so he went all in last year. I have this, I have part of it on my video, like a couple different things. Not this actual moment, but Churro went all in, rolled, and it sevened out. So he lost the contest like that. It was just like, and then anyway, Chris from Sideshow Gamble ended up still giving him the craps table. It was amazing. It's just amazing. The community is such an amazing thing. And so what happens is this Chris from Dice Degen, okay, and Craig are in a contest. So to honor Churro and his memory and his legacy and his impact on the community, Chris the Dice Degen, and he has this up on his YouTube channel. It's called Dice Degen. It came out today, but he bets all in, but every bet has an 11 in it. So he's like 111 on this, 111 in this, 11 on every hard way. It's all about the 11s. And I want to show you this because it is pretty amazing. So I'm just going to put this up like this, and we're going to see if you can hear it. This is the moment where he done all his bets, and then John says, John from ProCrap says, hey, let's do a moment of silence for Churro before you do your roll. Because this was all to honor Churro, and this is probably the most amazing thing ever. But watch what happens here.
If anybody wants to know that bad, you can come find me later. It took me a while. Rule number 1.
So he asked for a moment of silence.
Moment of silence for Churro. These all add to 11 or had 11.
These are all his bets that he did with all the 11s.
All right, everything's on, everything's working. There we go.
He rolls. It's an 11. Wow. Wow. It is the moment that it was just one of those moments, man. You had to be there, but those that weren't, you're going to hear about it because it was absolutely amazing. So I would say go over to Chris Dice Degen channel and watch his video that he just put up today. I just took that. That's from his channel right now. You can also go to Casino Quest, and when you go to Casino Quest, there's 2 long videos, right? Hours long, like 7 hours and 9 hours. And we streamed live the whole time Casino Quest was open on Saturday and Sunday. And there's so much good content in there. I mean, David from Casino Quest actually did a class on how to figure out the bets. I mean, it's just really good content. I hope they don't take it down because there's so much stuff that I want to go back and watch again. But this thing, man, that was one of the amazing moments. And so that's what you get when you get with a community and get connected with people that are all have something in common and are going after the same goal of just like camaraderie and honor and craps. I mean, it's just amazing. man. It's just amazing. So, um, I think I just want to end it with that. I do. If there are any like questions, I will answer any questions that you have. But other than that, man, what a great event it was. Our next cruises are coming up. I'm doing a back-to-back-to-back, 3 cruises. Leaving on November 11th, and I'll be back on December 15th. And I'm going to be getting a lot of content for the next couple months. And so I'm really excited about that. But for those of you that made it this far and watched this long, I want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for becoming members of the channel here. And thank you for going to holyroller.com, buying yourself some merch if you would, if you want. I have one that says always working. Yeah, that one I can relate. And then there's one that says horn high yo, which is a bet that I always do, horn high yo. On my way out of Vegas, I stopped at my first charge for the Tesla because I drove to Vegas. So when I came to I had 20 minutes to charge, and it was in Mesquite, and so I was at a casino. So I just went into the casino. I'm like, okay, I got 20 minutes. I go in, there's a $5 craps table. I put 32 across. I have $100 in 20 minutes pretty much, and I walk out with extra $100. But I had like so much money on the table, and I bet for the dealers hardcore because I was like, this is a double up. I'm just gonna leave everything out and bet with. I'm like, put the dealers across for 32 across. I just put the dealers across and myself across. They're like, what? So it was pretty cool, and so I walked out doubling up my money in my 20-minute Tesla charge, and that was awesome. So Roberto, we're going to be on our first Royal Caribbean mid-December to Ensenada on the Navigator. Yeah, so Navigator, hopefully you go to Catalina Island and Ensenada, or Ensenada right there. But yeah, that's a great cruise. We've been on that one. Navigator is a good ship. And so and when I was there, it had a good team too. So a good craps team. But the thing about that is they always change. Everybody has contracts, and they always change. It's a 4-night or 4-day, 3-day, 4-night. So I just posted about Raquel, a pit boss. The first time that I ever like said pit boss, Holy Roller pit boss of the cruise is Raquel. It was. I met her the first time on the Odyssey, and then I saw her again. So when you see these good dealers on one ship, it doesn't mean that they're going to be on that ship again. You might see them again. So, hey, thanks for saying happy Thanksgiving and happy holidays to you too, and to everybody watching. And remember, the third Thursday of every month, I'll be here live wherever I'm at. I do it live on the third Thursday of every month. And I think I'll just end it with that, and by saying, it's my birthday coming up on the 27th, because if you ever watch where I show people how to get their free play in the casino, I'm like, every time you get your card, it's your birthday. That's what your code is, or your PIN. And I'm like, 11/27. Everybody knows that's my birthday. I'm like, now everybody knows my birthday. But hey, thanks, Steven. Thanks, Rad, for saying that. And I will say this. I hope to see you cruising and rolling on a craps table soon. Thanks for watching. See ya.